So for the Patriots in 2022, wow, it was kind of a disappointing season to say at least, because, well, they were trying to follow up a solid 2021 with their new rookie quarterback at the time, Mac Jones. He had a solid year, but the problem was going into 2022 is that the Patriots, after Josh McDaniels, their former offensive coordinator, went to go to the Raiders and become their new head coach, they didn't address the position. Yeah, they were going to 2022 with two makeshift offensive coordinators that were going to share the duties. Yeah, Matt Patricia, a defensive guy, and then Joe Judge, a special teams guy. They were going to share the duties and handle the play calling for their second-year quarterback, Mac Jones. Yeah, that was going to work out right. That's going to work out well, right? Yeah, that was going to work out well. So it didn't work out well when it was Mac Jones or when he got hurt, Bailey Zappi. And yeah, it was just not a great experiment there. So yeah, they also speaking of Bailey Zappi, they also fiddled around with having Mac Jones be the backup, and then Bailey Zappi would be that man under center starting certain weeks. So it was kind of weird how that played out. Sure, you had a strong defense that year, but at the end of the day, it's like, even though you have a good defense, yeah, if your offense can't do shit, you're not going to win games. And in most cases, that's what the Patriots suffered through in 2022. Mac Jones had a down year, mainly because, well, his offensive coordinators or coordinators didn't know what they were doing most of the time. And yeah, it wasn't a terrible record for the Patriots, 8-9, but it was clear that this was not going to be a good season for them. So for the Patriots, they had a couple of things that they had to address in the offseason if they want to get to their current goal in 2023, and that was trying to make a run at the playoffs, especially in this tough environment. So looking at their team needs that I had for them in my season recaps, they really had to retool the offensive line because their tackle spots were kind of shoddy. And one of the reasons why Mac Jones got hurt early on, especially in week 3 against Baltimore, he had that high ankle sprain and he was out a couple of games. And then you had to get Mac Jones two receivers, because Mac Jones not only struggled with not having an offensive coordinator, but he also struggled with the lack of receiving options in the passing game. Sure, you had Jacoby Myers there, but when you signed Kendrick Bourne to a big fat contract, you expect him to perform, but then most of the time he doesn't. So you need two receivers to go alongside Mac Jones to help his development, and especially considering what happened in free agency. And then you had to bolster the secondaries with 2 corners and a safety because, yeah, Devin McCourty wasn't going to be around forever. So yeah, those were my team needs for the New England Patriots in the offseason. Fortunately for New England, they finally did something to help out Mac Jones, and that was bringing back Bill O'Brien, who was a previous offensive coordinator for the Patriots, to do the same role. So for as much as I roast Bill O'Brien, Bob, during his time in the Houston Texans, at least he could help out Mac Jones, try to develop. I think he did pretty solid work with Deshaun Watson down in Houston. So we'll see how this works out. So looking at some of their free agency and draft moves, they did lose Jacoby Myers, the same guy that cost the Patriots the win in that certain game against the Raiders. That game. So yeah, they also lost their safety, Devin McCourty. He retired during the offseason, so a big hole to fill for the Patriots defense. They did re-sign corner Jonathan Jones, one of their positives in that defense, and safety Jabril Peppers. Looking at some of their free agency moves, they clearly couldn't do a whole lot because that spending spree they went on 2 years ago, but they at least got some help in for Mac Jones. They got Juju Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs, so they at least add some experience from a recent defending Super Bowl champion, and they got Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins, so they get a tight end option now since Gronk, and a kind of reliable one at that. I think the only reason that Mike Gesicki didn't do so well last year with the Dolphins because they had too many receiving options in that offense. And then in the draft, this was where they really did pretty solid. They got one of the best corners in the draft, Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. So he's going to definitely be an instant starter for them. Edge rusher Keon White from Georgia Tech. Center Jake Andrews from Troy. So perhaps some more protection up front. Certainly can help for Mac Jones. Guard Antonio Mafi from UCLA. And another receiver by the name of Kayshon Boutte from LSU. So looking at the Patriots this past offseason, even though they got some guys like Jake Andrews from Troy, guard Antonio Mafi from UCLA, I feel like they could have gotten a little bit more protection up front for Mac Jones. I get it. Money was an issue in free agency because, again, they went on that massive spending spree. But I feel like, Bill Belichick should have made a little bit better use of that money. Yeah, he at least got Mac Jones some receiving help, so that helps. But yeah, they should at least found a little bit of more like value offensive lineman that was available in free agency, whether it is guards, tackles, anything. Because Mac Jones really struggled with protection, so that's why he got hurt a good amount in 2022. Because again, let's be honest. Who cares if the Patriots defense is top tier if Mac Jones kept getting sacked? On the other end, he got sacked a lot in 2022. But again, on a positive note, they at least gave him some solid receiving help. They got Gesicki, they got Juju Smith-Schuster, and especially now that Jacoby Myers, their top receiving option, is gone, you're gonna need someone like Smith-Schuster to help you out. So looking at some of the key games in 2022, it's going to be a big doozy to start the year for New England. You play the Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins at home, so two very tough games. Playing Jalen Hurts and Tua back-to-back in back-to-back weeks, so good luck with that. And then right after, you play Aaron Rodgers and the Jets down in the Meadowlands. So New England has to be very careful. They gotta at least steal one of these two games, if not two of them, because if they go 0-3, they're in real trouble early on. And in week 6, they go down to Las Vegas in a rematch of that game from last year. But they get to see their old buddy, their old new friend that's now in the silver and black, Jimmy James Garoppolo and Josh McDaniels, as they play the Raiders, pal. And then they go back home the next week to take on the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And yeah, they pretty much, Josh Allen and them pretty much dominate. They're not scared of Gillette anymore. So they better be careful there. So looking at the Patriots going into the season, my biggest question for them is, well, centered around Mac Jones. Is he finally going to be able to have a very good year now that he has an actual offensive coordinator in Bill O'Brien? Is Bill O'Brien going to be able to dial up some pretty good plays for Mac Jones? Certainly, you would think so, right? Take advantage of Mac Jones' biggest strengths and apply it to the offense. Certainly, it'd work, right? And I just hope that the offensive line is going to be able to hold up and give him the time that he needs to make those plays develop. So hopefully something will work out. So overall, looking at the Patriots, considering what they've done in the offseason, I feel like they could have done more with the protection up front. Who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe they pan out. At least, they got some protection for Mac Jones. Not protection, receiving help. So he has something to work with. And then the defense, I think it's going to be pretty solid, if not very solid, especially in the secondary where you got two quality corners in Jonathan Jones and Christian Gonzalez. The problem is that they got a very hard schedule to start the year. You got to play the Philadelphia Eagles and Miami Dolphins in your first two games. Then you got to play the Jets, and then you got to play Dallas, even though we know how Dallas can be sometimes. And then you got to play the Bills. It's a very rough first half schedule. And if these problems on offense persist, like the offensive line, these problems carry over into 2023 from 2022, yeah, expect the Patriots to fall and prey into the bottom of the division early on, especially considering they're in a tough AFC East and AFC as a whole. So considering what they didn't do in the offseason, like I felt like, again, they should have done more. Yeah, I kind of expect such. Now, this is not a knock on Mac Jones, but yeah, it's more of a knock on your team should have done more for you. So I expect the Patriots to go 6-11. I know it sounds harsh. Maybe I'm doubting them, but yeah, sorry, man. The odds are not in your favor for a team that was once hailed as a dynasty, and it's not looking good for the New England Patriots in 2023.